welcome back to the second episode of my All the Mods 9 playthrough. I want to thank everybody for all of the support and encouragement I've gotten for the first video, and I'm excited to put out the second video. I really hope you liked that little montage in the beginning. It took me 2.5 hours to produce that little 2-minute, 10-second montage, but totally worth it. I think it turned out great. I'm pretty excited about that. First time I ever did anything like that. And admittedly, I lost a little bit of footage due to some complications with the mic, but I'm excited to show you guys what I've got going on. So let's take a look. Right there, you're going to notice that the tree farm is completely gone. If any of you remember, there was a tree farm right there. I actually had some footage of me removing the tree farm and crafting up a mecha tool so that I could use Silk Touch in order to do so. But unfortunately, I lost that footage. But that's okay. We're making up for it. And if we go down here, you'll also notice that I have taken down a lot of the create contraptions. So what we're going to be focusing on today is just moving all of this stuff over. And a main concern that I have with this tree farm is that it constantly drops stuff that I'm picking up that I don't really want. And sometimes it spawns trees in areas and I have to clean it up. And it's just generally super annoying. So I was thinking we would set up a tree farm somewhere a little ways away from the base and then chunk load it so that we didn't have to deal with those issues. And I was generally thinking we could set it up somewhere back here, maybe. I was thinking I might set it up kind of in my farming area, but I don't really want a bunch of trees messing up my farming area. So yeah, I think maybe right in this general area is going to be our best location. But before we do that, I'm probably going to have to clear out some flat ground. So we'll be back after I've cleared out some flat ground. And we're back. So you'll notice I cleared out a little area here, and you might also notice that I've got some red wool on the ground, and that is to help me with my chunk alignment. So for anybody that doesn't know, Minecraft is generated in chunks, and basically whenever you're trying to keep a chunk loaded, since you only get 25 chunks to keep permanently loaded, you want to keep all of your stuff in one chunk. And this is the center of the chunk. You'll notice that the center is actually 4 squares. So you basically have to pick one of these squares to be the center. So in this case, I picked what would be the top right square here. And you'll notice that this offsets the chunk so that this is actually outside of the chunk and this is actually outside of the chunk. And that's okay because that's going to be our walls. So for the structure, I was kind of thinking dark oak. I really like the aesthetic of the dark oak. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of dark oak, so I'm thinking we'll have to mix up the dark oak and some oak logs and just make a structure. But basically, when we're making this structure, we have a couple of things. I have a couple of things that I want to make happen. First off, I want it to all be in one chunk, just for the reasons I explained before. I want it to be permanently loaded and only have to load one chunk. Additionally, I want it to all be above ground, so I don't want any of the contraptions to be below ground. So I think we're going to do like a create processing area down below, and then on the roof we're going to have the actual tree farm itself. So let's get right to it. I actually do need that. Start by clearing out some dirt here and getting the floor set. So I think generally I want the floor to be this dark oak that I have chiseled. I think that's going to look really nice. And we're actually going to go ahead and use the calcite and glowstone in the middle like we have before, just to mix it in with some lighter colors. And I've been inspired a little bit for the outside design. I don't know if it's going to look good, but we're going to give it a go, and if we don't like it, we can always change it. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe the design that I have for this tree farm, I might try using something similar for the bee processing area as well, which is definitely an area that needs attention. We'll have to get to that soon, but yeah, the tree farm had to go, so I'm definitely prioritizing that. But I'm gonna cut real quick, and yeah, we'll get back after I get this floor laid. And now we got the floor laid. So yeah, I think that's gonna look really nice. I always like using the glowstone just because it helps light stuff up, and the calcite gives it a nice white. But with this dark oak, I think it makes a really nice contrast. Now I've decided, since I'm running awfully low on the dark oak, I think I'm just going to use the oak logs and the oak plank tiles to make the walls, and I think that's actually going to give us a nice contrast. So for the walls, I was thinking we would do something kind of like this, where we've got an oak log column. I don't know how tall I want it to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that'll probably do. And then we'll make this the roof. So we'll do a column like that. We'll bring that out this way. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. We'll have another column right here. And then I think we're gonna have some planks sitting back recessed behind it a little bit to give it a little bit of depth here. Five. Yep. And yeah, I think we're just gonna do that layout all the way around. And for the rest of the walls, maybe I'll just go ahead and... No, we'll do the same thing. Take the dark oak, right? The oak right here. 1, 2. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. We'll do something like that. We got to figure it out a little bit, but I think that's going to look really nice with the depth in there. So we'll cut back after I've got the walls made. And we're back. So you might notice I did more than just the walls here. I went ahead and built the entire structure. But man, I think this thing looks great. It turned out better than I could have ever even hoped for. I ended up lowering it a little bit so I could get these windows even. And I think the roof is still at a decent height to come in here and do some work. Maybe I could have run oak across the bottom and then raise these oak planks. We'll consider that. That's still not out of the question. But you notice I did the calcite and the glowstone across the floor, and yeah, with the planks recessed in against the oak logs, I think that adds a nice level of depth. And it was a little bit of a challenge figuring out what to do with the corners, but I ended up just kind of rounding them off like this, and I think that looks great. Again, it just kind of helps eliminate the blockiness that you can often run into with Minecraft. And this was a little bit of a mistake. I was actually going to do another layer of oak logs like that with a light in there, but I didn't want the doorway so low, so I just removed this and decided that that looked like a nice arch. And then with the oak, the ends of the oak popping out right there, I think it adds a nice little bit of texture. In the corner, I just filled in with these oak logs. And I did the same thing up top. With the white in the middle, with a little bit of shadowing with the glowstone on the outside. And even the raised rafters we have going on in here. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's all we did there. And again, it's just... some of these things were just a decision to kind of eliminate some problems that were created just by the structure itself. But even stuff like that, where you just got the oak log end right there and right there, I think it really creates that extra level of detail and texture that's really making this structure look very nice. Yeah, I think I actually will raise the structure one and probably raise the oak planks up a little bit. So, and that'll give us a little more room in here because I do think it is a little bit cramped. So that's going to take me some time. That's a little unfortunate. I just thought of that. But up top, this is where we're going to have the tree farm. And you can see I've got it all set up with the dirt. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty big tree farm. And we'll get into the specifics of crafting it here in a moment after I raise the structure up. And we're back after about a week of real life time. And I finally raised the structure up. So yeah, all I did was added this little outside trim here, and I think that looks way better on the outside. And I do like the inside level as well, how that's raised up. Now I did make a decision to move the calcite and the glowstone back up. And I did that just because it looked a little weird with these windows here. And I threw some logs in there. I am a little sad that I'm missing out on the extra level of depth of having this up and then these back down. But I think just generally that's going to work best. And then I added this trim on the outside, around the outside of the dirt layer. Yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. So we're obviously not finished with the structure yet. And as you guys know, I'm planning on putting a automatic tree farm here. So I thought that, and usually how I start when I'm making create anything is I begin with the rotational force. So as you guys have seen over here, I have some windmills, and I'm excited to show you guys how I make these awesome looking windmills. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to construct a windmill. And I was thinking behind the structure to the left, except I don't know. I definitely want it on the left side. I might do it on the side here. I think that might look a little bit better. But we'll just go ahead and get that built. So it's a pretty simple thing that I'm going to do here. And the same thing that I did for the windmills over there, actually. I'm going to take this log. Now you know what? Let me think about this for a second. Okay, I actually think I'm gonna put the windmill here. And basically what I did for my other windmills is I started off like this. And then I took some oak planks. I did one on either side. And then I did it like that. And like that. And oak log right there. Right there. Planks. That, like that. We're just going to do the same basic design all the way around. Made a mistake there. You can fix that. Okay, and then I always like to be able to get inside my structures, of course, so we just cut that out for a doorway. And I'm going to go ahead and build this windmill as tall as I like. Okay, and we're not going to worry about the roof for now. We're just going to focus on getting the windmill part of it built. So we'll cut that out real quick. And then we'll put this windmill bearing in. And now with these windmills, I auto-crafted 250 of them. I don't use all 250, but I do believe I use roughly 220. And I start by making a center that is 7 by 7 wide. So basically you got the center and then 3 on either side. So we'll go ahead and make that center bit. I'm actually going to slow myself down here a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then the way that I do the curved blades is, so we want to see which way this is rotating. So we'll go ahead and turn that on. And we can see that it's rotating counterclockwise. So we'll go ahead and turn that back off. And yeah, I actually got these guys on me, so I'm gonna go ahead and go to sleep real quick. Okay, so basically the way I do this is, so I want it to curve like that, you know, clockwise, you could say. And I start in a corner, so if we want it to curve like this, you know, we want to start in the top right corner. We're gonna go, and the way I do this is pretty simple. I just count it out. So I start here and I go 1, 2, 3, and then I stair step it. So that's 1, 2, 3, like that. So 1, 2, 3. And then here we do it again. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then we're gonna go one more. So we do it like that, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we stair step it back down. So 1, 2. Actually, it's gonna be right there. 3. Then we go ahead and fill this in. And then I do 2 here. And I do 1, 2, 3 there. And there you have it. There's that little blade there. So we'll go ahead and now we'll do this side. So obviously we don't want to do this corner, but we want to do this side here. Anyways, we'll go ahead and we'll build the rest of these blades real quick. Okay, and there we have it. There's our windmill. So we're gonna go ahead and fire this guy up just to make sure it looks good while it's spinning. Oh yeah, look at that. I think it looks good. I'm pretty proud of that. And it's pretty simple, so it's easy to imitate. So anyways, obviously next we got to bring the rotational force down. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out some shafts. And I'm just going to go ahead and batch craft a whole ton of these shafts. Oh, it looks like I already have 160 of them, so that might do. But we are redesigning our entire create area right now, or at least our entire tree farm, so it's going to take quite a few shafts. But yep, so we just go ahead and take it down like this, and we're using the vertical gearbox there to transfer vertically. Just basic create stuff, but you know, maybe I can explain it a little bit for those of you that don't know. Man, these traders are always creeping up on me. They must have a nose for wealth or something. They're always coming after my riches. Anyways, we're actually going to go ahead and sacrifice this corner of the room. Okay, and now we have the rotational force inside of our building. And I'm actually going to use these rafters to kind of transfer that rotational force around. So I'm going to bring that all the way to the center here. Like that. Then we're going to use a normal gearbox here. Just throw that guy on there. And that can get us over to the center. Another vertical gearbox right here, like that. And that will take us all the way to our mechanical bearing. Very simple stuff here. So I actually need to go ahead and grab a couple of things. Yeah, see, we didn't even use all those windmills. We'll go ahead and put the mechanical bearing down, and then you have to have the glue in your hand whenever you're working with contraptions, just so it glues on. And we'll dig that out for now. And again, I just want to see which way this, oop, my bad. Just want to see which way this spins before I get too far ahead of myself. So yeah, that's spinning clockwise there. So we'll go ahead and take this all the way to the edge of the dirt, like that. And I get the feeling that this is larger than my previous tree farm. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's actually 2 blocks larger than my previous tree farm. And we can see that I don't have mechanical saws on AutoCraft. Let's see if I can fix that real quick. Okay, and we had to make some adjustments. I forgot that our entire create area was broken down at the moment, so we had to create the plates manually. And yeah, I built this little mechanical press. It was a little bit of a rabbit trail, but we're back on track now. I did not realize I had this thing just running. And we got 2 more oh, I do need the glue. But we got 2 more mechanical saws, like that. And then, again, my design is pretty simplistic. I like to believe anybody could copy it. And you put the deployers here. And then obviously those got to be rotated the correct way. Like that. And we'll go ahead and prime this with some saplings. And we're going to go ahead and attach. Actually, I wanted to test something out. I wanted to see if an ender chest would work with this setup. And we can go ahead and kick this off actually. And yeah, you can see it just goes ahead and plants all the oak. So yeah, it'll keep itself stocked with the oak and the ender chest. And yeah, we just let that run. Okay, I'm sad to say that the ender chest trick actually does not work. I was really hoping it would, but it does not. It's okay. We can work with that. We just need a portable storage interface. Okay, now this should deposit into the portable storage interface every time it comes around. And there it is. I just gotta fix the actual storage on it. Okay, and that was a little bit of a nightmare there. We had a little bit of a runaway train, but we got it stopped now, so we're good. And yeah, I believe I put those barrels away. Yep, there they are. Like that. And we can turn it back on. And now it will dump its contents into this here portable storage interface. And we're obviously going to want to transport the items onto a processing line. So, let me go ahead and get some rotational force over here. Okay, so we got a rotational force there, and I actually want to set up a little bit of logistics here. just because our previous model was not getting rid of the unwanted products, the byproducts. And this model, yeah, we're definitely not going to be dealing with stuff building up and clogging the system and getting everywhere. So we're just going to void most of the items out. And we're going to do that through a mechanism logistical sorter, like that. And yeah, we don't really want these items to back us up, so we'll just go ahead and make some ultimate logistical transporters here. And we're going to set some filters real quick. Let me go ahead and set these filters. Okay, and yeah, basically the only thing we want is logs, so everything else is going to get voided into this trash can. And I always like to, even though it's not necessary, I like to set this to where that's set to pull, and this is set to push, like that. Yeah, it looks like it's working. I actually seen that, I saw that activate. And if we look in the inventory up here, yeah, we can see it got rid of all the stuff. Except I do need to set one more filter. I forgot about acorns, like that. There we go. Okay, and we're in luck because the rotational force actually comes out exactly where we would want it to. For me to just set up a funnel. And we're going to use a brass funnel so that I can set a filter on this as well, because again, we don't want anything but logs coming out of our system. We'll go ahead and set that filter like that. Then we actually need to create our belt. So I want it to come down a little bit. I can still walk under that, so that works. We'll go ahead and put a belt from here to here. And then we're going to go this way. There we go, it likes that. And I actually want to set a depot here because I think if we set a depot here, I can blast an entire stack at once. I'm not entirely sure, but I sure hope. So we'll find out. And we'll go ahead and put the encased fan right here, like that. And we can continue to pull the rotational force off of these conveyors. Boom, there we have it. Okay, and then obviously I'm going to eventually have lava in here, but I want to be able to see the action happening because why not? That's totally awesome. So we're going to encase this with glass. And I'll go grab my lava real quick. Perfect. Beautiful. Oh no, no, no! That was quite tragic and unforeseen. I wonder why it did that. It shouldn't have gone anywhere like that. Ah, beautiful. There it is. It's because the source block was level with it. Okay. So anyways, now that we got that figured out, I need to deliver some rotational force to this here conveyor belt. Pretty simple. Yeah, I notice it hasn't been transporting any logs out. They're going somewhere. Oh, I just don't know where. Ah, I see. The deployers are messing up. So you gotta be sure to set your filters on your deployers. I forgot to do that. There we go. Should work a little bit better now. Hopefully. Oh, there we go. Immediate results. And let's see if it blasts the whole stack at once. Oh, that is a thing of beauty right there. Now we just need to set up a way to get the charcoal off the line, and I do want to press it into charcoal blocks just for more concise storage. So we put the filter there for charcoal, just to you know, obviously so the logs don't keep spilling out. And we're just doing this to get the items out of the depot. We'll put a shaft right, not like that, like that. Boom, like that. Yeah, and you can see how quickly these create setups can get pretty bulky and expensive. It's okay. We definitely have the resources for it, so we are not worried about that. So we'll put that right there. And a couple more gearboxes later. Alright, beautiful, it's going in the correct direction. I'll just use some encased chain drives to transfer the rotational force over. Like that. There we go. Again, encased chain drives, just to transfer the rotational force. Actually, here we want to set up a basin. And remember, we're going to be turning all of these into blocks, so this is actually where we're going to do that. Just in the meantime, we'll use a plank to hold it up. I know it's Minecraft and it can technically float, but I do try to avoid that. Gotta love the Minecraft music. So calming. Definitely a vibe. Definitely a vibe. And we're just gonna go ahead and put our press down right there. And for now, I'm not too terribly worried about the speed of this. We'll probably end up creating a rotational speed controller later. But yeah, I'm mostly focused on getting this functional for now. So we'll just take the rotational force at the speed it's coming in. Like that. And it works. Look at that. Very nice. So we'll put another brass funnel on this end, because you don't want the small charcoal coming out, you only want the big charcoal, right? And we're nearing the end of the road here, finally. But once that charcoal comes out, we gotta get it somewhere. Boom, like that. And then we should finally be able to send this into an ender chest with the all white code, because that's the basic code that I use to transport into my AE system. And the funnel here should be the last piece of the puzzle. Hopefully you can funnel into an ender chest. Ah, you can. Beautiful. And look at that. It even already is filtered in my AE system. That is a thing of beauty. So yeah, that is the singular purpose of my tree farm. I might have it set up so that I can pull oak logs out whenever I need them, if I ever start running low on oak logs. But we're not too worried about that. Honestly, we can just like break portable storage, or we can add something like right here just to pull logs out for a moment. But yeah, that's it. We're just taking the logs, voiding everything that's not a log in this trash can, blasting the logs into coal, smashing it into blocks of charcoal, and sending it into the AE system. And that's all that we're doing. Yeah, and trust me, there is going to be trees surrounding this place in no time. But I just wanted to get that area rebuilt, as it is kind of a legacy type thing. It's not really something that's functional. We're not really using it right now. But it's kind of like a history piece in my base, and I had to get it away from my base so I wasn't constantly picking up super annoying drops. I also had to move it so that we could work on our create area and lift the base up and get it all level, on the same level. And yeah, it feels really good to have that out of the way. There you have it. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.